Hey everyone, it's Jeannie from A1 Vacuum and Sewing, and this is the last of the 3 demo videos to qualify for the Poinsettia Jar Topper design. So after watching the video, you'll be able to fill out a survey, and you'll fill out the survey, and then I'll get all the information. And starting December 1st, I'm going to be sending you your poinsettia designs, and then you'll be able to make that adorable project. So I went ahead and I pieced this little pillow. I'm going to make a pillow out of this. And it is 12 by 18 with lots of different squares and rectangles and shapes. And so I thought that would be perfect to demo this for you because Clear Blue Tiles is a quilting system. It's the complete system for quilting on your home embroidery machine. Bigger your hoops are, the more you can do, the bigger area that you can cover at once. So let me show you what's inside the box. So when you open up the box, you are going to have your USB with your designs on it, and they're going to be in here as block by block, which will allow you to lay down batting and your background fabric and all of that. Or there's Clear Blue Tiles, and Clear Blue Tiles is just the quilting. Ugh, that was kind of tough to get out of there, huh? This is just I don't know what this is. I've opened mine before, so I don't know if there was something different there. But here's our USB. We're going to be using that. You have pens. I suggest don't use these pens because I've seen way too many people complain that they've used the pens and that the pens stain their fabric and they can't get it out. So if you're listening, Kimberbell, please make nicer pens, or pens that aren't going to ruin their projects, because I just see it all the time and people post it, and I therefore have never used the pens and never had an issue. You're also going to get two of these slap bands, and this is for wrapping around your stabilizer or whatever you want to do with it. I keep mine on my door organizer, so I haven't really used those. This is the good stuff, right? Let's grab this. When you take this out, these are your border pieces. These are your border tiles. So I'm going to grab these. And then you're going to have also a bag that has your regular tiles. So here are the border tiles. And here is your user guide. And your user guide is fantastic. It has a project. Your USB is going to have this, this little project in it. And we actually kit these in the store. So if you want to get one of these kits so you can practice, they are listed as seasonal table runners. So you can go ahead and order seasonal table runners, and we have that. This kind of explains your embroidery field. It goes through the different shapes that you have and the different sizes. These are the different designs that are going to be in there. So you're going to have winter, spring, summer, fall, swirls, loops, little bitty blocks, borders, and borders, two different borders, different border stuff that you're going to have in there. And then it goes through and explains how to use these. Can I just give you like the lowdown? And this is what I do. You know, if you look at this, they want you to go in and do all of these markings. I don't really do all of that when I've used these, and maybe it's because I'm lazy. But what I do normally is I will look at my project, and I will go through. So these are my borders. These are the regular ones. Let's take those out. So if you're going to be planning it out, right, it's nice to be nice and organized. Here is my project that I'm going to be working on. I have options here. I can go ahead and find a piece that's going to cover this entire section. And I'm over here in my border pieces right now. Oh, look, my 4x10 is perfect. But you also want to pay attention to, like, I want my pillow to be this way. So I don't want my design. I want to print a stitch horizontal, not the vertical design. It might not look right. So this will work here, here, and here. Or I could break these up. And I could do, here, let's just lay some stuff down. I could do this Here's another one of my border pieces. Oh, look, it fits perfectly right here. And then I can do a little bitty block right there. I have, oh, look, that fits perfectly right there, doesn't it? Or else I could get this big piece here and forget about this. I'm going to go ahead and do this whole section all at once, which I would be more inclined to do just because I'm always trying to get projects done. I'm going to go over here to my regular shapes, and I could do a square right here. And then I could do the, looks like I need a 4x6. A 4x6. Whoops. Just dropped my bitty block. Here's my bitty. Here is a 4x6. And I need just something right over here. And I think that's going to be a border piece, but oh, look, I can just do that. You can also, if you want, if you're doing lots of bigger pieces, because if you have a smaller machine and this is your biggest hoop, this is an 8x10, this is 6x10, you can also purchase the Clear Blue Tile expansion set. And what comes with this is going to be all of these pieces so you can plan and arrange and figure out how you're going to do your stitching. It comes with 2 more of those pens that are going to stain your fabric. Don't use them. So you get all of these, and that's going to help you with your placing, your marking, and your quilting. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so I like the way this looks. And normally what I do is I just choose the center point. I know, can you believe that? I normally just mark, just so I know that it's going to, where I need to have my needle drop, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and bring this down a little bit. Bring this over a little bit. And I'm using a friction pen. And I'm just going to mark my little center. If you want, you can mark. And then this size is going to be your 8x12. So that might be good for you. If you're not good spatially and you're not good judging what size hoop that's going to go into, then you could go ahead and I could write my 8x10. Okay, and I have my orientation this way, so that'll remind me that that's how I want my block to stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. If you want to do all the corner markings, you can, but for me, that is perfect. This is all I marked. Just the center, the orientation, and what size that block was. Okay, I don't want to do 2 of these, so I'm just going to grab my 4x10. I'm going to get rid of these 2. I'm going to lay this one down. And I have my, this is going to be my 1/4 inch here. So I'm going to just bump this up to the seam. Hopefully this friction pen will be dark enough for you to see. And this is 4x10. I can see it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Okay, so that one's marked. You can get rid of that. This one over here. And remember, you have that 1/4 inch seam allowance. See? So I'm going to kind of nudge it into where the seam, the sewn seam is. I use a lot. For me, my favorite marking tools are going to be a chalk pen, my Choco, which it looks like I need right now. It looks like I need it. I'm going to try and make this fast because I don't want you to have to sit there when there's so many things to do and you have so many projects. Marking pens and markers. I need, oh, here's my Marky Gone. I like my Marky Gone too. Is this chalk? That's glue pen. Next time, I'll be better prepared. Here's Sew Line, and that is blue. And I wasn't thinking that I was going to have such a dark piece that needed to be marked. Let's see if I can get this on here. Can we see that? Oh, I can see that a little bit. And this one is 6x10. 6x10. I think I'll know that size because I can't see the writing. Okay. And then this one down here, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go ahead and mark all of them right now. I'm just going to go ahead and start, and we'll maybe do this one first, and then maybe we'll do this one down here. We're not going to go ahead and stitch all of them, but let me grab those, and let's talk about what I'm going to be quilting with hoop-wise. Okay. I have lots of different options, right? But if I am quilting, my favorite thing to use are going to be my snap hoops. And I know there's other magnetic hoops out there, but quite honestly, I like the idea of sliding this onto my machine, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to slide this part onto my machine, and then I'll hoop, or I could hoop right now. If we want to hoop right here, and I have this layered with my top, my batting, and just a piece of just cotton. I was looking for my muslin. This is just a piece of random cotton just because it's what I found. And then here's where it slides on. I go ahead and abut this to here, and then I will just drop it. But I want this right in the center, and that's not looking very good right there. So I'm going to just put it over here. And I barely have any room left and right. This is an 8x12 hoop. This block is going to be 8x10. I want a little more room. I'm going to bump it up in size. So this is my 8x12 magnetic hoop. I'm going to go to a 9.5x14. So let me go ahead and put this in here first. But I try to use the smallest hoop possible for the job. I have magnetic hoops in a 7x12, an 8x12, 9.5x14, and a 10.5x16, and I'm happy with those. I don't use these to embroider with. I know some people do, but I prefer to use the regular hoops or the new magnetic hoops. I thought, could I use the new magnetic hoops? But I think that would be too difficult because there's too many magnets when I want to rehoop. And I want my rehooping to be easy. Okay, I'm just going to show you how it's going to look. And then I'll take it on over to the machine. But here we go. That way we have plenty of room left and right because you have about, I'd say, 1/2 inch on either side. But with my 9.5x14, now I have a whole inch that I can kind of be off. Top and bottom, you have about 2 inches of no-sew on top and bottom. So if I were to hoop it like this, it's going to be perfect. So why don't we go ahead and hoop it? Lay it down. That's where I'm going to just feel. And I can feel right here and right down here and right up here. Plenty of room. You want to be nice and straight if you can be nice and straight. You don't want to be like off this way or off this way. So try and be nice and perpendicular. I'm going to feel for the lower upper hoop, and this is how people get pinched. They lower it slowly. The bottom one jumps up and gets them. I'm just going to drop it. There we go. And we're hooped. I'm just going to go ahead and give this a gentle tug this way. And I think that looks fantastic. Let's take it over to the machine. Okay, I'm at the machine and I'm going to go into embroidery. I put my lower USB port. And here it is. There's your seasonal table runners. I have no idea what recycler is. Never been in there before. Block by block, which we're not doing. We're going to go into embroidery files, and I am PES. And I haven't even decided what I wanted. Let's do winter because this is Christmassy. And I'm going to go clear blue tiles. And I'm looking for, and this is great because if you've forgotten, guess what? We wrote it down. 8x10. So we want the 8x10 design. And all of these, did you know that if you want to look at more designs, you can hit this up arrow and it fills your whole screen with them. Isn't that wonderful? And then if you want to look at what you're going to be selecting, you just hit the down arrow and now you have your little preview area, little mini lesson of the day. So I'm going to put that up like this. We want 8x10. And there's my 8x10. And because it's snowflakes, there's not a lot of, I don't know what I was saying because, yeah, there's snowflakes. I'm going to go back because looks like a long stitch out. So I'm going to just back arrow out of here and I'm going to go to swirls instead because I think that might be a little bit quicker. Clear blue tiles, 8x10. And we're going to do this one. And I'm going to go ahead and hit set. All right. I'm using a 9.5x14 inch hoop. I always like to select my hoop size and my settings. 9.5x14. And I'm going to say okay to that. And couple different things that you can do. Number one, I know where my needle drop position is, which is right there. So I can just use the move arrows to get it over there. Let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go up here and let's just go embroidery because we are happy with what we see. I'm going to go layout, move, and you have this button here, your W plus button. This isn't on all the machines, but if you see W plus here, you can touch that and it's going to point a laser pinpoint beam down. So I'm going to touch my W plus. And I wanted to make sure I had my move arrows, which I do. I'm going to be using those. You're not going to see that because I'm going to show you my projected W plus. Do you see that? My little T right there. I'm going to move that so it's right on my center point. That looks good. And I'm going to bring it down. And I'm ready to get started. Now, the other thing is you could, if you have the Luminaire or the slurs, or you have something with the app, you could actually project the design just to make sure it's fitting. But I have those crosshairs, and so everything looks pretty perpendicular, which makes me go, this is going to stitch out well, okay? You can change this if you want. I usually leave the T, but if you want it to just be a pinpoint, we can go in here. Let's go to page number, I don't think I've really, do you see here page 6? And there I could make it just a pin dot, but I like the T. It gives me an orientation, so I usually leave it on the T. Color you can choose too. If you want, we could do red or white. I usually do red, so I'm surprised that I had the green up there. Let me go ahead and turn my W plus on again. And there we go. And you can see it's right where it needs to be, okay? We're almost ready to stitch. If you have a machine that doesn't have the W plus, and let me show you what I do when I don't have the W plus. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I do it the old-fashioned way. And so, is he turning off? There, no, he's not turning off. Let me go layout. I'm going to go move and scoot him over a little bit. What I do if I don't have the W plus is I move it where I think it might go. Like, let's say I had it right there. My W plus is on, but I would hand roll and I'd go, oh, I'm off a little bit. Okay, needle back up in the highest position. Now I'm going to move it over. And I'm going to keep testing by manually rolling down. Even there, my W plus is off the tiniest bit. I'm going to go over, and maybe down one. And that's pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and start stitching now. So if you do not have a W plus button, or it's off a little bit like mine was, then just go ahead and move it manually with your move arrows, and hand roll down and then back up again just to check to see if you're in the right spot. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, what you want to do next is you don't want to just start stitching. You want to go to stitch number 1 because you don't want a big bird's nest on the underside of your project. Actually, on this one, it wouldn't care because this is a pillow, so it would be on the inside of the pillow. But for your quilts, you don't want to see ugly bird's nests on the back. So you are going to start at stitch 1. Right now, you can see up here, I'm at stitch 0 of 4,045 stitches. To get to stitch 1, I'm going to touch this button down here, minus and plus stitches, and I'm going to go +1. And now you're going to see we're at stitch 1 where it's going to start stitching. So you can see it's starting to stitch all the way up here. Not a big deal. We're not going to start here, but you wanted to just center the design. And this is how I bring up my bobbin thread. I'm going to hold my upper thread in one hand. I prefer holding it in my left hand. I don't know, creature of habit, right? Why? Looks like I'm like wrapped around. Okay, hold it taut in this hand. Don't let go. You're going to touch your needle down, your needle up button, and you're going to pull up and bring up your bobbin thread. Mine is super tiny because I've been using my cut button, but he's there. See him? He's right here. Don't start stitching yet either. You also want to take your upper thread and you want to fish it down through this hole, the hole in your foot. because it won't drag around and it'll just be neat and tidy. Am I so bossy telling you what to do? I just want your projects to be gorgeous. So you can see right here, I'm holding both of my threads and now I'm ready to start. So I'm going to touch my start button. If you want, you could go ahead and stop it and clip. And we're going to go ahead and let it stitch out. Oh, I was up and over a little bit, huh? Another thing you could do is you can hit the button like to shrink it down and maybe just hit it like twice or 3 times just to make sure you're in your square. I was over a little bit, but that's okay. Who's perfect? Not me. You must love stitching with me because I am so not perfect. Because isn't it hard sewing with the girlfriend who everything they make is absolutely perfect? Not Jeannie Mulligan. So let's go ahead. We'll do this one and we'll do one more. I'll show you how I rehoop. Oh my goodness, isn't this cute? And that snap hoop, who doesn't love a snap hoop? So snap hoops are on sale right now. We're doing them on sale for our Christmas pricing. So if you don't have one and you're somebody who does a lot of quilting, I'd say get one. So it might, you know, if you had a decent sized quilt, but let's say you had just a lap quilt or a crib size quilt or maybe a, you know, twin size quilt and you wanted to do the quilting yourself, it might take you the afternoon to do it, but who cares? You could do it all yourself and it would have this look. It would look so professional. And people would say, oh my goodness, the quilting looks absolutely amazing. I'm going to rehoop and we'll do this one right over here. Now, if your design, if they had something that was directional, they would offer you a horizontal and a vertical option. But these are just swirls. And you can combine designs. You don't have to do swirls for the whole thing. We're about 3/4 of the way done. And that friction pen, I'm just going to press away. Cute. And there we go. Isn't that adorable? Let's go ahead and rehoop, and I'm going to do this section over here. I always tell people when you're using snap hoops, make sure, like I'm hooped on every single side right now. As long as you're hooped on 3 sides, you're going to be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and just slide this off. And I usually just put it right here on the top of my machine. I'm going to scoot this over. And I think I can have this hang out over here and have it be in that hoop. Or be hooped. Okay. And I'm going to feel for my bottom hoop. I'm going to scoot this up so I can feel it. I can feel it right underneath and just drop my top hoop. Now I'm going to go ahead and walk my hands around and make sure my top hoop is on top of my bottom hoop, which it is. And this looks pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull in just to make sure everything's nice and taut. And that looks good. That's it. I mean, that's how easy it is. Do you need to worry about this over here? You do about your foot maybe coming up and getting caught under there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shrink this design down maybe like 2 or 3 clicks. So right here, I can see that I'm using my 4x10. And it's a good thing I wrote it down because you might not remember. So let's go on over here. I'm going to say, okay. I'm going to go with my home key. Embroidery. There's my pocket. My bottom USB is where I'm at. My embroidery files, and I'm PES. I'm going to do swirls again. I'm just going to keep it all swirly. And I'm doing clear blue tiles, which is just the design. If I did block by block, that would be placement for batting. So I'm going to do clear blue tiles, and I'm looking for my 4x10, which is right here. I'm going to go ahead and set it. And I am going to edit this down, and I'm just going to go ahead and size it 2 clicks down. Just a little bit. Because I'm on that edge, I want to make sure I don't get near it. And let's go ahead and say embroidery. I'm going to go layout, my move keys, because I want to be able to move it. And I'm going to do my W+ right up here. Okay. These are my move keys. You're not going to see me, but I'm going to be touching these. I'm going to move this until I have my little T, and that's the intersection of the T right there at my center point. Oh, you can't see any of that. Intersection of my little T to my center point right there. And I'm just holding that button down to make it go a little bit faster. Whoop. And now I'm just hitting the button one click at a time. Can you see that? I should get you up close and personal. There. Okay, I'm good. I am going to go ahead and bring up my bobbin thread. Oh, well, we have to go to stitch number 1. I know my design is centered now. So it's not going to start there. I don't know if it ever starts right in the center, but we know the design is centered. Now we're going to go to stitch number 1. And we're going to bring up our bobbin thread. And that's going to make it look gorgeous in the back. Just like the pros. Okay, you're going to hold this thread and you're going to touch your needle down, needle up button. You're going to reach underneath and grab. What you really want is that bobbin thread. And you want to make sure that your upper thread is down through the hole in your foot, which mine is. All right, you want to make sure it looks like that. Okay, go ahead and hit start. And here we go. The that 2 clicks down will make sure it's just not going up and over the edges. As we're doing this, we're gonna watch that foot, and you wanna watch it over here just to make sure it doesn't get too far over and scoop underneath. Have you ever had that happen? It's horrible. It's like the most horrible experience ever. We're pretty safe, I think. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. And that is your clear blue tile demonstration. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned a little bit about how to quilt with your tiles, how to pick the tiles that are going to fit your job the best. I say go with the biggest one that your machine's going to take so that you can get through it quicker, but you might want to do something more custom. There's lots of Kimberbell quilting designs that you can use to do your clear blue tiles. So if you wanted to do something really special in this white area and something a little more plain, you can do that. You can make it as complicated or as fast and easy as you want to make it. And I hope you go and create something absolutely amazing. Our clear blue tiles will be 25% off for the holiday season. So get your clear blue tiles. Thanks so much.